to make a ham, bacon, and cheese omelet. So what you need are eggs. I choose to use 2. You can use as many or as few as you would like. We use these country cured ham pieces. They're really salty and they're good. Cooking spray, butter. I already had cooked bacon that I had already cut into little pieces, but you might need to cook that yourself if you don't have it. Pizza cheese. Pizza cheese is my favorite cheese. You could obviously use whatever you like. And a splash of milk. If you don't want to use milk, you can use a splash of water instead. So I'm going to start with my ham pieces. Now these come completely uncooked, so you have to do the work. I'm going to spray a little bit of the vegetable oil cooking spray in the pan over the sink so I don't make a mess. They packed this in there. I wish the package was bigger so it wasn't all stuck together in there. Alright, so then you're just going to cut it up directly into the pan. The pieces can be as big or as small as you would like. So I'm just going to cut some more of this up and get it in the pan, and I'll be right back. Some of the ham pieces in the pan with cooking spray, and I'm just going to turn it on like medium, so around 4 or 5. Now, if you want to have, some people love peppers and onions. My mom and dad, they love peppers and onions. So if you want, you can put those in with this and saute them with these ham pieces, and so you can put them in your omelet later, or you could just put them in the omelet raw. I personally prefer mine with a little bit of caramelization on them, so that's what I would do. So I'm literally just going to fiddle with these for a couple minutes until they're a little bit brown, and I'll be right back. That ham is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and prep my eggs. I'm choosing to do 2. Alright, so the 2 eggs are in, and I just like to add a little splash of milk, like maybe a tablespoon. I don't even think that was a tablespoon. You can put water instead if you don't want to do milk, or you could do nothing at all. It just helps blend it a little bit, and you can hear my ham starting to sizzle. So they are finished. They're a little bit brown, and you can see that the pink has darkened up. Also, the smell is a lot stronger. So I'm going to dump those onto a plate. I'm going to turn down my heat because I had turned it up to like 8, which is very close to high. And I'm actually going to let it sit back there for a second because I don't want the bottom of my eggs to immediately cook and leave the center uncooked because that's gross. Even though there's still some ham juices in there, I'm going to put a little bit of butter in just to make sure that, because sticking eggs is the worst. And we're going to pour our egg mixture, egg and milk, right on in. This is what it looks like so far. I'm going to pop that hole, and to make it a little fluffy in the middle, just pull some egg towards the middle. You don't want to do too much, but a little bit is good. And then just tilt to put the raw eggs in those holes. So I'm going to do one more on this side. And I'm going to let it sit. This is a personal preference. I personally like my eggs to be kind of dry and brown. So I'm going to let mine sit for another minute or 2. If you like your eggs kind of wet and moist, which is just disgusting to me, you can flip it now. But if you don't, stick around. Alright, so now is the dreaded time for flipping. I take my time. Like, that is the best thing you can do. Also, I'll take a fork and help lift it on to the spatula. You want to make sure you get right up under it. You can even put it a little bit up on the handle if it's that big. So now we're going to add our cheese and our ham and our bacon. Normally I would add salt and pepper at this point too. However, since the ham is like country ham, it's going to have a lot of salt on it already. So you really don't need any more as of right now because I'm not sure exactly how salty that will be. So then we're going to take the ham and we're going to, ooh, it's skinning. We're going to pour it on. You want to make sure you get it all the way across. It's more important to get it across than to get it in the middle, I guess, because when you fold it over, it's all going to come to one side. So make sure you get it spread out throughout one half of it instead of through the whole thing. Then I'm just going to take a little bit of bacon. Now, we're going to, since this side doesn't have very much stuff on it, this is the side that I'm going to flip over. So I'm just going to use my fork and my spatula together. Oop, hold. To flip it. There you go. And take your time with this. If you need to turn your heat down really low so you can work slowly, that's totally fine. It's not a bad thing to need to work a little slower. So I like mine browner than this, so I'm going to let it sit for a minute, and then we'll flip it in just a sec. Alright, now I like mine to be brown on both sides, so I'm just going to flip it again. And I'm going to let it sit on this side for a minute because I like it to be nice and brown like that. So I'm going to let it sit for a second and then we're going to take it off. It's time to take it off. Make sure you turn your stove off. Now if you wanted to, you could just take it off just like this. But since for the video, pretty side up. Now we lost a little bit of ham since I didn't fold it perfectly evenly, which is totally okay. And I'll just put that right back. And voila. I think Mom's going to want to take a picture of it for the cover, and then we'll taste it.
Do you want me to talk about it?
It's good, yeah.
I like Ashley's. I always like Ashley's because she makes them good and brown.
And I'm glad I didn't add any more salt to it in addition because that country ham piece is salty, but it's good.
It's really good. That ham is good and salty. Like I said, I like the crispiness of the eggs. Ashley actually can cook.